Chosen one, the day you have been bracing yourself against is already opening, and the word horror in the title was not chosen to alarm you. It was chosen to make you stop, to make you listen, to make you arrive at this exact moment instead of letting another quiet sign from the Father pass through your week unrecognized. This Monday is not ordinary, and the heaviness you cannot fully explain is not paranoia. It is recognition. The silence you have been praying into, the fog you have been waiting through, the stillness you assumed was absence, none of it was absence. It was assembly. Something inside you has been preparing for the unfolding of this day long before your eyes opened this morning, and the message you are about to receive has been waiting for the precise hour you would be still enough to hear it. Do not let the urgency in my voice alarm you. Let it center you. The Father does not move in panic. He moves with intention, with quiet authority, with the kind of weight that bends nothing it was not meant to bend. For the next 40 minutes, I am going to walk you through what is actually unfolding, what to release before noon arrives, and who you become by the time this Monday ends. Before I continue, one quick word. Everything in the next 40 minutes is free. If your spirit tells you there is more you need, a quiet door waits in the description and the pinned comment. Only if you feel led. Now picture where you actually are right now, wherever this message reaches you in the unfolding of this day, whether the morning is still soft in front of you, or noon has already crossed over you. Whether you are sitting at the edge of a bed you have not fully made, or behind a wheel that has not quite started moving yet, there is a doorway in front of you. You may not be able to see it with your eyes, but your spirit knows it is there. Monday opens like a doorway. Most days do not. Most days slip past us like water under a bridge, quiet and predictable and forgettable. But once in a while, a day arrives with weight on it, with a kind of pressure that makes the air feel different, a kind of silence that follows you from one room into the next. This is one of those days. And there is a labor that has been working in you for longer than you realized, a labor that has been quietly preparing something. And labor is not the enemy of birth. Labor is the birth. The pressure you have been resisting is the very mechanism the Father has been using to bring something into being. Stay with that for a moment. Most people, when a Monday like this one arrives, will do one of two things. They will reach for distraction, or they will reach for an explanation. They will tell themselves they did not sleep well. They will tell themselves it is the workload, the schedule, the weather, the season, the time of year. They will pour caffeine over the heaviness and try to outrun it before lunch. But you are here, and you have already been listening for a few minutes, which means a part of you has refused to settle for those small explanations. A part of you knows there is something more honest going on. So, let me name a few of the signs you have been quietly carrying, not to diagnose you, to recognize you. The first sign is the wave. The strange way emotion has been moving in you over the last few days, especially Sunday night and into this morning. Tears that come from nowhere. A wash of peace that does not match anything happening around you. A quiet sorrow that arrives before any sad thought does. This is not random anxiety. This is the spirit responding to a shift the mind has not yet processed. The second sign is the way certain people, certain rooms, certain conversations have started to feel different. People you used to enjoy now drain you faster than they used to. Environments you used to tolerate now feel sharp and loud and almost intrusive. You are not becoming antisocial. This is not random heaviness. This is your spirit getting clear about what belongs in the next chapter and what does not. The third sign is the strange detachment from routines that used to comfort you. The morning ritual that used to ground you now feels mechanical. The hobbies you reached for in hard seasons now leave you flat. The shows, the food, the small pleasures, all of them have lost a little of their flavor. This is not random, heightened sensitivity. This is the part of you that knows the old shape of your life can no longer hold the size of what is forming. The fourth sign is the numbers, the repeating patterns. The 1111s, the 3s, the 4s, the strange way certain hours keep appearing on the clock when you happen to glance at it. The same word showing up in a song, on a billboard, in a casual sentence from a stranger. This is not random spiritual restlessness. This is your environment confirming what your spirit is already telling you. And the fifth sign is the dreams, especially in the last week or two. Dreams that felt more real than real life. Dreams about water rising, about doors opening, about people you have not seen in years. Dreams about this week. Dreams about this day. You woke up trying to shake them, but they followed you into the morning. This is not random imagination. This is the spirit using the only channel left open when the daytime mind is too noisy to listen. 5 signs. And maybe not all of them are yours. Maybe 3 of them are. Maybe 4. Maybe all 5 at once. The point is not to check every box. The point is that you have been carrying something. And what you have been carrying is not malfunction. It is preparation. Before we go any deeper, I want to tell you what stays with you if you walk through this entire message with me. By the time we close, you will know how to tell the difference between fear that wants to control you and recognition that wants to position you. You will know what your Monday is actually delivering and how to walk through the rest of this day without bracing against it. You will hear the meaning of an old word from the original Greek that will change how you understand every weighted day for the rest of your life. You will hear from someone who walked through their own Monday 8 months ago and came out the other side different. And before we close, you will receive a declaration spoken over the rest of this day that I believe will stay with you long after the video ends. So, do not leave early. Stay through to the closing. The deepest part is at the end. Now, what I am about to teach you next reaches into something a researcher named Dr. Robert Lake spent over 34 years mapping. The work he did across that career covers far more than this one message, can hold the youthful brain, the dormant frequencies, the architecture of recognition itself. But today, the door we are walking through is the first door. The rest comes when your spirit is ready for it. Because the signs you just heard, the wave, the people, the routines, the numbers, the dreams, those are the surface. That is what most teachings stop at. Sign counting and self-validation. And if I stopped there too, you would walk away, comforted, but not yet equipped. Comfort without equipping is the reason most chosen ones recognize their season, but never cross it. So, we are not stopping at recognition. There is a deeper layer underneath all 5 of those signs. A specific reason this Monday is carrying the kind of weight ordinary weeks do not. There is a word, an old word, from a language older than English, that names exactly what kind of day this actually is. And once you hear it, you will not be able to unhear it for the rest of your life. Let me show you. Just before we paused, I told you the 5 signs you have been carrying are the surface, the wave, the people, the routines, the numbers, the dreams. Most messages stop there because the surface is comforting, but the surface is also where you have already been living. The deeper layer, the one that actually changes how you walk through the next 24 hours, sits underneath all 5 signs, and it has a name you have probably never heard. There are two different words for time in the language the New Testament was originally written in. Most of us only have one word for time in English. We say, a day is a day. An hour is an hour. A minute is a minute. We measure it on clocks. We track it on calendars. We schedule it, organize it, complain about how little of it we have, and assume that one Monday is essentially the same as the next Monday. But the writers of the New Testament had two words. The first word is chronos. Chronos is clock time. Chronos is the time you can count on a watch. Chronos is the seconds and the minutes and the hours moving forward at the same steady speed they always have. Chronos is the time everyone shares. Chronos is what you check when you are running late. The second word is kairos. Kairos is something different entirely. Kairos is the appointed time. Kairos is the right moment. Kairos is the crossing point that no calendar can predict and no schedule can manufacture. Kairos cannot be rushed. Kairos cannot be delayed. Kairos cannot be measured. Kairos can only be recognized. Most days are chronos days. They tick by. They blur into each other. They are useful, productive, necessary, but they do not carry weight. This Monday is not a chronos day for you. This Monday is a kairos day, and every one of the 5 signs you have been carrying is your spirit recognizing the difference. Listen to what happens in Scripture when a kairos day arrives. Look at Esther. There was a moment in her story when an entire nation was on the edge of being destroyed. Her cousin Mordecai sent her a message, and the exact phrase he used was a kairos phrase. He said, "Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Such a time as this." That is kairos language. He did not say for next month. He did not say for whenever you are ready. He said, for this, for the appointed moment, for the day that cannot be rescheduled. And Esther did not ask Mordecai how long the moment would last. She did not ask if it would be easy. She did not ask if she could wait. She asked one question and one question only. She asked, "What now?" That is the question Kairos asks of every chosen one. Now, there is something I want to mention before we go any further into the deeper layer. What Kairos asks of the brain is recognition. The brain has been trained to suppress. The mind, by the time most of us are adults, has been shaped into chronos thinking, schedules and deadlines and productivity and pace. The frequency that recognizes kairos, the frequency a child operates in naturally before the world teaches the child to be efficient, that frequency goes quiet. It does not disappear. It just gets buried under decades of clock time conditioning. There is a tool that addresses exactly this. It is called The Genius Song. It is a 7-minute audio track Dr. Robert Lake developed using brain entrainment, a technology measured at MIT and Princeton, to help reactivate the gamma frequency the brain naturally carried in childhood, the same frequency that recognizes kairos, intuition, synchronicity, and meaning. I am not asking you to leave this video for it. If your spirit already knows the answer, the link sits quietly in the description and the pinned comment. Stay for the full message if you want more context. The door is there either way. For those staying with me, here is what comes next. Because we have only named what kairos is, we have not yet named what kairos requires. Kairos days are not happy days. Most of them are not even comfortable days. Kairos days are pregnant days. Pregnant the way a body is pregnant in the final hour before delivery. Heavy, uncomfortable, intense, full of pressure that does not feel like a gift while you are carrying it. The labor that is moving in you on a kairos day was not designed to feel like blessing in the moment. It was designed to produce blessing through the moment. That is why this Monday feels the way it does. And it is also why the world will tell you to medicate the feeling away. The world is built on Chronos. The world rewards Chronos. The world has very little category for the kind of day where pressure is the mechanism of becoming. So when a Kairos day arrives, the world hands you distraction, productivity advice, time management tips, and a strong cup of coffee. None of those are evil, but none of them are the response a Kairos day is asking for. And here is the harder part. Some part of you already knows that recognizing this Kairos means you cannot remain who you have been. Because if this Monday is the appointed crossing point, then the version of you sitting on this side of the doorway is not the version walking out the other side. And whatever your spirit has been making peace with for years, this day is asking you to release. That is heavy. I know it is. Let me stop here for a moment. You have been listening for somewhere around 17 or 18 minutes now. Outside of this voice, the day is moving. Whatever room you are in, the room is still there. Whatever sounds are around you, traffic, a fan, the distant noise of a household, a quiet that feels almost too quiet, those sounds are still there. I want you to notice them, just for a few seconds, not to fix anything, not to receive anything, just to remember that you are an actual person in an actual place, in an actual hour of an actual Monday. Take one slow breath with me. Whenever you are ready, we will keep going, because the next thing I am going to tell you is the hardest thing I will ask you to consider in this entire message. What you have been calling horror has a different name than the one you have given it. The word you used, the word the title used, the word that has been sitting in the back of your mind since you saw it, that word is wrong. Not because the title was lying to you, but because no other word was strong enough to wake you up. Anything softer would have slipped past your eyes within seconds, and you would still be carrying the weight you woke up with this morning, completely unrecognized. The Father chose the strongest word available, so you would stop scrolling and start listening. Now that you are listening, I am going to tell you what this day is actually called. And once I tell you, every one of the 5 signs we named earlier will mean something different than it meant a few minutes ago. Stay with me. Here is what most teachings on heavy days never get to. Most teachings stop at acknowledgement. They tell you the heaviness is real. They tell you the season is hard. They tell you to be patient and to trust the process. And those things are true, but they are not the whole truth, and they are not what your spirit came here to receive. The whole truth is harder than that, and it is also better than that. Heaven knows you are afraid of this Monday. Heaven knows the fear is sitting underneath every thought you have had since Sunday night. The fear is not the obstacle. The fear is the proof. Most chosen ones are taught that fear means they are not ready. That fear means they have not prayed enough, trusted enough, surrendered enough. So they pile shame on top of the fear, and now they are carrying both. But fear on a Kairos day is not malfunction. Fear on a Kairos day is the body's response to the size of what is about to be released. The bigger the door, the louder the resistance. The deeper the formation, the heavier the labor. Every chosen one who has crossed a threshold like this one has carried fear up to the doorway. The question is not whether the fear belongs. The question is what the fear is actually pointing at. So, here is the word. Here is what this day is actually called. What you have been calling horror is actually labor. And in this moment, I want you to hear the Father speak directly, not through me, to you. I hear him saying it like this. What you call horror, I call labor. What you call collapse, I call delivery. What you call the worst day, I call the threshold day. The day you fear is the day I have been preparing, not against you, but for you. I did not allow this weight to crush you. I allowed it to compress you into the shape of who you were always meant to become. The pain you are carrying is not punishment, it is the pain of a passage, and I would not let you near a passage I had not already prepared the other side of. Let that settle. Now, everything we named in the first part of this message has to be heard again, but heard differently, because the words you used for what you have been carrying were the wrong words. The Father is asking you to use new ones. What you called horror was actually labor. Labor is not the enemy of birth. Labor is the birth. What you called pressure was actually compression. Compression is what gathers what has been scattered and forces it back into one shape. You were not breaking. You were being pulled together. What you called fear was actually awareness arriving early. The fear has been your spirit recognizing the size of what is coming before your mind could catch up. You have not been losing your nerve. You have been receiving advance notice. What you called delay was actually formation. Every season you spent wondering why nothing was happening was a season the Father was building structure under what would eventually need to stand. Delay is what made the foundation deep enough to hold what is now arriving. And what you called silence was actually preparation. The silence you have been praying into, the silence that felt like absence, the silence that made you wonder if anyone was listening on the other side. None of it was rejection. It was assembly. The very kind of assembly that does its best work without commentary. 5 words, 5 reframes. Carry them with you for the rest of this day. Now, if this Monday is the labor, the natural question is, what is being delivered? For that, look at how this same shape shows up across the lives of chosen ones who walked through it long before you. Look at Esther. We named her phrase a few minutes ago. The night before her Kairos day, Esther did not sleep well. The morning she walked into the king's throne room, uninvited, in violation of the law, with her own life on the line, was the heaviest morning of her life. If she had used a word for that morning, the word would have been horror. Esther was not delivered from that day. She was delivered through it. And the version of her that walked back out of the throne room was not the same Esther who walked in. The day she feared the most was the day her real assignment finally arrived in her hands. Look at Job. Job's restoration did not begin on a comfortable day. It began on the heaviest day. The day Job sat in ashes, scraping at his own skin, with everything he had loved already gone, was the day the long compression ended and the long restoration began. The very day he experienced as worst was the threshold of everything that came after. Heaven does not always remove the weight. Sometimes heaven uses the weight as the very mechanism that sets you up for what is next. For those entering this kind of day, the rule is simple, and it is the same rule that was true for Esther and for Job. You are not going to be delivered from this Monday. You are going to be delivered through it. And the version of you walking out the other side of this day is not the version that walked in. Now I want to tell you about someone closer to your own time. About 8 months ago, a chosen one I knew of woke up on a Monday with the same weight you are carrying right now. He could not name it. He thought he was getting sick. He cancelled a meeting he had been preparing for, almost cancelled the entire week. He told me later that the heaviness felt like grief, even though nothing in his life had ended. He spent the morning in the kind of fog that does not lift, no matter how much coffee you pour into it. By that Friday, only 4 days later, A contract he had been quietly praying about for over a year arrived in his inbox. But here is the part most people miss. The contract only reached him because that Monday's heaviness had made him cancel a different commitment that same week. A commitment he had been about to sign that, if signed, would have made the new contract impossible. He did not feel led to cancel it for any reason he could explain. He just could not move toward it. The weight of Monday made him still, and the stillness saved his calling. He did not pass through that Monday. That Monday passed him into who he is now. That is what Kairos days do. Now let me show you what the Father has been preparing through every weight you have ever carried, and the very specific resistance you are about to face when this message ends, and you have to actually walk the rest of this day. Before I can show you exactly what this Monday is delivering, and I will show you, before this message closes, there is one more layer the Father wants you to see. And this layer changes how you walk through every Monday you have left in this season, not just this one. Because here is the thing no one prepares you for on a Kairos day. The biggest threat to your crossing is not the day itself. It is the resistance that rises in you the moment you start to recognize the day for what it is. Watch what happens. The instant a chosen one realizes that a heavy day is actually a Kairos day, a second voice gets louder. A voice that says, "Are you sure?" A voice that says, "What if you are making this up?" A voice that says, "This is just another teaching, another moment of false hope, and by tomorrow you will feel exactly the same way you felt this morning." That voice is not random. That voice is doubt, and doubt always shows up at the threshold. Doubt is louder at the doorway than it ever was in the hallway. The closer you get to the actual crossing, the smarter the doubt sounds. There is a reason for this. Doubt is not interested in Chronos days. Doubt does not bother showing up on ordinary Tuesdays. Doubt only shows up when something real is about to be released. So, if doubt has been louder for you in the last few days than it has been in months, that is not a sign you are off track. That is a sign you are exactly on it. Underneath the doubt, there is usually something gentler and harder to name. The belief that says, "If this were really for me, it would have happened sooner." The belief that says, "The chosen ones who get breakthroughs are not chosen ones like me." The belief that says, "Every other time you got your hopes up, you paid for it." That belief is not a moral failure. That belief is the residue of a season that taught you to expect nothing so you could not be hurt again. The Father is not angry at you for carrying it. He is asking you to place it where it actually belongs, not in this message, in the season that taught it to you. So, here is something practical. 3 short tools you can use as the rest of this Monday unfolds. They are not steps to perform. They are inner movements you can make while you are sitting exactly where you already are. The first one is for discernment. 3 questions to ask anytime a thought, a feeling, or an impulse rises in you for the rest of this day. The first question is this pulling me toward becoming or away from it? The second question is, does this voice grow louder when I am quiet or quieter? The third question is this asking me to act or only to brace? The voice of fear pulls you away from becoming, gets quieter when you slow down, and asks you only to brace. The voice of recognition pulls you toward becoming, gets clearer when you slow down, and asks you to act in small, specific ways. Carry those 3 questions like a key. Use them anytime the day feels confusing. The second one is about your energy. Not all conversations today will deserve the same amount of you. Some will, most will not. Before you walk into any encounter for the rest of this Monday, take one slow breath and ask in your mind, What version of me does this conversation need? The grounded version, the listening version, the protective version, or the silent version? You do not have to pour yourself into every container that asks for you. The third one is for when the intensity rises, when you feel the weight come back up, and it will, more than once before this day ends. Try this. 3 breaths. Not a long meditation. 3 breaths. The first one, in through the nose, slow. The second one, out through the mouth, slower. The third one is the one that matters. Breathe in and silently say to yourself, "This day is a doorway." Breathe out and silently say, "I am crossing through." 3 breaths. That is it. You can do that anywhere. You can do that right now, even where you are sitting. Now, before we go any further, I want to ground you in plain language about exactly what we have walked through together so far. If you have been carrying weight you could not explain since Sunday night, here is why. Your spirit has been recognizing what your mind has not yet had words for, that this Monday is not an ordinary day on a calendar. It is a Kairos day, an appointed crossing point, and the heaviness you have felt is your spirit responding to the size of it. Here is what you have actually learned today, the 5 signs you came in with: the wave of emotion, the way certain people drain you, the strange detachment from old routines, the repeating numbers, the vivid dreams. Those signs are not symptoms of something wrong. They are evidence of preparation. The word horror was the strongest word available to wake you up. The real word is labor. Labor is the mechanism, not the enemy. And the labor you are walking through is producing something specific in you that will not be visible until you are already past the doorway. And here is who you are walking through the rest of this Monday. Not someone bracing against catastrophe, someone positioned for delivery. Like Esther in the throne room, like Job in the ashes. Like the chosen one who cancelled the wrong commitment because heaviness made him still. You are in a long line of chosen ones whose hardest day became their threshold day. That is what your spirit needed in plain words before we go any further. Now there is something I mentioned earlier in this message. The 7-minute audio track Dr. Lake spent over 34 years developing. I want to come back to it now because it speaks directly into the resistance you just heard me describe. You were always going to need a tool like this. The frequency you carried as a child, the curiosity, the openness, the way meaning used to land in you without effort, was never lost. It was suppressed. By a school system built on Chronos. By a working life built on Chronos. By decades of being trained to ignore the part of you that recognizes Kairos. The gamma frequency the brain naturally carries in childhood is the same frequency that recognizes appointed time, intuition, synchronicity, and the kind of inner pull you have been feeling all day. You did not lose it. The world quieted it. The tool is called the Genius Song, a 7-minute audio file. You put on headphones, you close your eyes, you listen. That is the entire practice. There is no curriculum to study, no mantra to memorize, no technique to perfect. Brain entrainment does the work the moment the sound enters your ears. A woman wrote in some time ago and described herself as a seeker. She was 38. She had spent over a decade trying everything that gets recommended in spiritual circles. Long meditation, retreats, yoga teacher trainings, coaching programs. By the time she found this, she had tried so many things that she was almost embarrassed to try one more. She bought it more out of resignation than hope. 2 weeks in, she said the only word she had for what was happening was synchronicities. The right songs at the right moments. Conversations that answered questions she had not asked out loud. The world speaking back to her in a language she had spent 14 years trying to learn. She did not become a different chosen one. She became the one she always was, before the world taught her to be quieter than she really was. 3 decades of research at MIT, Princeton, and a number of other leading research institutions have observed the same pattern this technology is built on. Brain entrainment is not theory, it is measurable. EEG sensors show the gamma frequency reactivating in real time inside the 7-minute window, and after years of being available, more than 18,000 chosen ones have used it. The data on the other side of that is even more telling. Fewer than 4% of users have ever requested a refund, which means more than 96% kept it well past the 90-day window because they kept feeling the difference. I know what you are thinking. You have tried things before. You have spent on things that promised more than they delivered. You have read the books, downloaded the apps, listened to the podcasts. I am not asking you to believe me. I am asking you to look at the mechanism. Meditation asks the brain to change itself from the inside. That is slow, uncertain work. Brain entrainment changes the frequency from the outside. That is a different category of process. It is not another item on the same long list. It is a different list entirely. And I would never disrespect what $39 is. For many chosen ones, that is a real number. So before I show you the price, I want you to know I am not naming it lightly. The standard price for the Genius Song is $49. The price reserved for chosen ones watching this message, and you will not find it anywhere else, not Amazon, not any other site, is $39. Delivered as digital audio, instantly, by email. No shipping. Along with the audio track, 4 bonus pieces are included, each with its own dollar value. A second track, called Genius Child, calibrated for the brains of children before the decline effect takes hold, valued at $19. The original out-of-print book that the entire secret film was based on, valued at $20. A guided visualization recording, 22 minutes long, walking through finances, relationships, health, and joy, valued at $29. And a habit guide outlining the 5 small practices that compound on top of the audio track, valued at $12. $80 in additional value, included with the $39 audio at no extra cost. The guarantee is unusual, 90 days to test the entire stack. If, at any point inside that window, you decide it is not for you, for any reason, no questions, no proof of use required, you reply once to the email, and the $39 is returned. You also keep the 4 bonuses, all $80 of them. The reason it works that way is simple. If you spent the time it takes to listen, you have already given something. The bonuses are a thank you for that time. The risk in any real sense lies on the other side. The only risk that remains is the risk of not trying. Every Monday Gamma stays asleep is a Monday. The labor takes longer than it has to. Every appointed day you walk into, without the frequency that recognizes appointed days, is a day that costs more than it needed to cost. The future version of you, the one already on the other side of this Kairos season, is not asking you to make a perfect decision, just a right one. The decision is not whether $39 is large or small. The decision is whether the version of you the Father has been preparing is allowed to be reached. Now there is something I have to tell you about, because too many chosen ones have been hurt by it. There are sites pretending to sell the Genius Song that are not selling the Genius Song. They use the same name. They post on Amazon, on Spotify, on third-party marketplaces. The audio they deliver is regular sound. There is no brain entrainment. There are no bonuses. There is no guarantee. The only place the real product exists, with the actual technology and the full stack, is the link sitting in the description and in the pinned comment of this message. Nowhere else. Not Amazon. Not a search result. not a copycat site. If a chosen one in your life wants the real one, send them the link, not the search bar. Before I share anything else, take one slow breath with me. This decision is not really about $39. The decision is about whether you trust what just happened in your spirit during this message enough to act on it. If the answer is no, that is honest, and the door stays open another day. If the answer is yes, your spirit already knows what to do. The link to the Genius song sits in the description and the pinned comment, exactly where I told you it would be at the start of this message. Walk through it only if you feel led. Now stay with me through the close, because what comes next is the part this entire message has been building toward, and the words I want to leave you with as the rest of this day unfolds. Here is the deepest truth I am asking you to take with you. The Father did not give you this Monday to test you. He gave you this Monday because He trusted you with it. Read that again in your mind, slowly, one word at a time. He gave you this Monday because He trusted you with it. Most chosen ones live their hard days assuming the day was assigned as punishment, as if heaviness is evidence of disfavor, as if struggle is proof of disconnection. The truth is exactly the opposite. The hardest days are not given to the chosen ones who are weakest. The hardest days are given to the chosen ones strong enough to walk through them and bring something back for the rest. The Father did not pick this day for someone else and then drop it on you by accident. He picked this day for you because of what He has been building in you. The day is the assignment, and the assignment was given to the right chosen one. Now hear the Father say this directly to you one more time. Look at what you walked through. Look at what did not crush you. Look at every season you survived without recognition, every prayer you whispered without an answer you could hear, every long stretch of nothing that turned out to be the hidden work of a foundation. You did not get here by accident. You did not arrive at this Monday by chance. I have been preparing this exact day for you while you were preparing yourself for everything except this. And what you walked through is who you are now. So this is what is being delivered today. The version of you that bracing taught, the version of you that survival shaped, the version of you that learned to expect very little so you could not be disappointed. That version is not who you actually are. That version is the version the labor has been working to release. The labor that scared you was the birth that delivered you. By the time the sun sets on this day, you will not be the chosen one who fell asleep last night. You will be the chosen one who walked through the labor and came out on the other side, lighter, clearer, more yourself than you have been in years. Now, before we close completely, I want to walk you through a short inner movement. You do not need to move your body. You do not need to close your eyes if you are driving. You only need your imagination. Wherever you are right now, in your mind, picture a doorway in front of you. Not a metaphor, an actual doorway. Old wood, a simple frame, soft light coming through it from the other side. On this side of the doorway is the version of you that woke up this morning carrying weight you could not name. On the other side of the doorway is the version of you that walked through this entire message, the version that knows what Kairos means, the version that knows the heaviness was recognition, the version that has been positioned, like Esther, like Job, like the chosen one who cancelled the wrong commitment because the Father quieted him. Take one slow breath. In your mind, take one step forward. You just crossed. That is not a visualization exercise. That is recognition of what is actually happening in your spirit at this exact moment. The crossing is not in the future. The crossing is now. Let me pause here for a moment before we close completely. You have been with this voice for somewhere over 40 minutes now. The day has continued to move while you listened. Whatever room you are in, the room is still there. Whatever sounds are around you, those sounds are still there. I want you to acknowledge something with me. You did not have to stay. You stayed. You did not have to listen. You listened. You did not have to receive. You received. None of that was small. Whatever is in front of you next today, you walk into it different than the chosen one who clicked on this message a few minutes ago. That alone is worth a moment of stillness before we go into the closing. Now we close. Before this message ends, I want to reflect with you on what just happened in this hour. You came into this carrying weight you could not name. You walked through 5 signs that were not malfunction but messages. You learned a word, kairos, that you will carry for the rest of your life. You met the moment of the twist, where the word horror gave way to the word labor. You stood inside the company of Esther and Job and a chosen one whose Monday saved his calling. You received the practical tools. You crossed the doorway in your imagination because the doorway was already open in your spirit. None of this was an accident. None of it was random. None of it was time wasted. The Father sees every weight you carried into this message, every silent prayer that did not get answered the way you hoped, every quiet faithfulness no one ever celebrated, every season you kept showing up where your spirit was no longer being fed. He has watched all of it. None of it was overlooked. None of it was wasted. Now, in this moment, place into his hands every version of this day you were preparing yourself to survive. Place every fear of what Monday might bring. Place every story you told yourself about why you could not. Place the heaviness, the dread, the bracing, the small voice that said, "This would never reach you." Let them rest with him, not because they were wrong to feel, but because they were the very weight that brought you to recognition. They have done their work. Let them go. And now hear what is being declared over you for the rest of this Monday. You are positioned. You are prepared. You are sent. Positioned, like Esther in the throne room, in the exact place required for what this day is asking of you. Prepared, through every quiet wilderness season that built what this day demands. Every long stretch of nothing was foundation work. Every silent prayer was foundation work. Every disappointment that taught you to listen instead of perform was foundation work. None of it was wasted. Sent into the rest of this Monday with everything you need to walk it the way it was meant to be walked. Not perfectly, not without weight, but with awareness, with recognition, with the quiet authority of a chosen one who finally knows what kind of day this is. And one more time, hear the Father speak directly to you. Walk into the rest of this day knowing I am already at the next part of it. I have gone ahead of you. I have prepared the ground you have not yet stepped on. The hours that remain in this Monday are not yours to carry alone. They are ours to walk together. You are not alone in this. Right now, all across the world, chosen ones are walking through their own Monday. Some at sunrise, some at noon, some at evening. Some lying down trying to rest before another long night. All of them carrying recognition they could not have explained an hour ago. You are connected to them in a way no algorithm could orchestrate. You are part of a quiet, scattered family of chosen ones crossing thresholds at exactly the same time. What was placed in motion this Monday is the embrace your destiny has been preparing for you. It is sealed. The day is yours. Walk it well. Now, before you go, 3 small things. If your spirit confirmed the declaration just spoken, if something settled in you when you heard the words positioned, prepared, sent, type the words, "I am ready," in the comments below. Not for me. For you. So that what your spirit just received gets recorded by your own hands. If this Monday's message reached you the way it was meant to, leave a like, not for the channel, so that the same recognition can find the next chosen one waking into their own Kairos day, somewhere on the other side of the world, with no one yet to walk it with them. If you want messages like this one to find you when heaven sends them, subscribe, not for content, for the pattern of words being placed where you can find them. And before you close this, think of one chosen one in your life who has been unusually quiet this week. Someone who said, "I am fine," in a voice that did not match the words. Someone walking through their own Monday with no one to walk it with them. Send them this. They need it the way you needed it. That kind of sharing is what this entire message was built for. And the link to The Genius Song sits in the description and the pinned comment if your spirit pulled when I mentioned the tool earlier. Walk well, chosen one. The Father is already waiting at the next part of this day.